Why does heart rate increase at end of life? Heart rate, sometimes referred to as pulse rate, is the number of times a person's heart beats per minute. It is measured by feeling the pulse in the wrist, neck, or chest. A normal resting heart rate for adults is 60 to 100 beats per minute. At the end of life, an individual's heart rate can increase significantly. This phenomenon has been observed in numerous studies, with some finding that the heart rate increases by up to 25 to 50 beats per minute when death is imminent. While this rise in heart rate can be alarming, it is a natural process that occurs as the body begins the transition into death. This guide will explore why heart rate increases at the end of life. It will discuss the physiological, psychological, and social factors involved in this process, as well as other related topics, such as nutrition, medical treatment, and coping strategies. Why is heart rate increasing before death? Overview of scientific research. Heart rate is an important measure of our overall health and well-being. It provides valuable information about the functioning of our heart, lungs, and circulation. In the final days of life, a person's heart rate will typically increase. This is a natural part of the dying process. Research studies have identified a number of factors that can contribute to an increased heart rate at the end of life. These factors include physiological changes, psychological factors, social factors, diet, medical treatments, and more. Let's take a closer look at each one. Physiological factors. The body undergoes many changes as life ends. Aging, illness, trauma, and other factors can lead to a decrease in physical function. As a result, the body is less able to respond to physical demands. The weakened heart muscle may not be able to pump blood efficiently, leading to an increased heart rate. Psychological factors. It is well known that stress and anxiety can cause an increase in heart rate. During the end-of-life period, a person may be dealing with fear, pain, depression, and other emotional distress. This can result in an elevated heart rate. Social factors. The relationships and interactions that a person has at the end of life can also impact heart rate. A close bond with family and friends can provide comfort and support, while disconnection or isolation can increase levels of stress and anxiety. Nutrition. Diet can play a role in heart rate. A lack of nutrients could lead to physical weakness, which can place additional strain on the heart. On the other hand, a balanced diet may be able to provide the body with the nourishment it needs to remain strong. Another physical symptom that often comes before death is shallow breathing. As death approaches, the body becomes less able to process oxygen. This can lead to shallow breathing and even periods of no breathing at all. This can be distressing for family members, but it is important to note that this is a natural part of the dying process. The body's temperature will also decrease in the final weeks or days of life. As the body prepares for death, it works to conserve energy, and as a result, body temperature will drop. This can cause confusion or fear in the family, as it can seem like the person is cold-hearted. It is important to remember that this is a normal part of the dying process, and it does not mean the person is in pain. Finally, the skin may start to look a bit different as well. The skin will become pale and dry, and can start to feel colder to the touch. These changes occur because the body is no longer able to distribute blood in the same way. Understanding the physical changes that are happening to the body as life ends can be extremely helpful for family members and caretakers. It is important to remember that these changes are normal and a natural part of the dying process, and it is important to support the person through this time with empathy and compassion. At the end of life, emotions such as pain, fear, anxiety, guilt, sadness, and grief can all spark an increase in heart rate. Not only can these emotions trigger a physical response in the body, but they can also affect breathing, which in turn affects the heart rate. The heart rate can also increase in response to a feeling of loneliness or detachment. Just like being with family and friends brings comfort and can soothe heart rate, the absence of such connections can lead to an increase. In addition, it is important to consider how mental health conditions, such as depression, might affect someone's heart rate. Unmanaged depression is known to cause physical symptoms and can in some cases raise heart rate. It is therefore important to address any underlying mental health issues if they arise. Ultimately, it is important to remember that an increased heart rate at the end of life is a normal and expected phenomenon. It is also important to ensure that all psychological factors are taken into account and managed appropriately to ensure a person's comfort toward the end of life. Studies have shown that when the person is surrounded by supportive people who can provide emotional comfort and reassurance, it can help to reduce their heart rate. On the other hand, when the person feels unsupported, isolated, or overwhelmed, their heart rate tends to increase. The presence of friends and family can also be beneficial in other ways. For example, having someone to talk to share stories with, or to simply sit with can help make the individual feel less alone. It can give them a sense of connection and reduce any feelings of isolation they may be experiencing. Likewise, having someone to provide physical comfort, such as holding hands, massaging their feet, or giving them a hug, can help to soothe the pain and reduce heart rate. Social support can also be invaluable in helping to alleviate any anxiety the individual may be feeling. It can be comforting to know that someone is there to listen and provide understanding. This can help to take away some of the fear and uncertainty, thereby reducing their heart rate. Ultimately, social relationships and interactions can have a powerful influence on a person's heart rate at the end of life. By providing support and emotional comfort, those around them can help to ease their distress and make their last days more bearable. Nutrition and heart rate at end of life. One's diet plays an important role in determining their heart rate at the end of life. Nutrients provide the energy required to fuel the body's functions, including its cardiovascular system. As some of these systems slow down, your diet will need to change to meet the body's altered energy needs. Certain dietary changes can help keep your heart rate stable as end of life approaches. Eating more fiber-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and grains can help reduce inflammation and decrease levels of LDL cholesterol, both of which are associated with healthier heart health. Eating lean protein such as fish, poultry, eggs, and beans can also help support a healthy heart rate. It is also important to avoid unhealthy foods like processed and packaged snacks and food that is high in saturated fat. Additionally, limiting your salt intake can help your heart work more smoothly, and drinking plenty of water throughout the day can help your heart stay hydrated. Finally, avoiding alcohol and tobacco products that can cause the heart to beat faster. Some people may even find that their appetite decreases near the end of life. It is important to consult with your doctor or healthcare provider to decide which foods are best for you and your health during this time. Your healthcare provider can help create a plan tailored to your specific needs and ensure that your body is receiving the nutrients it needs. Medical treatment for heart rate increase at end of life. Heart rate is a vital sign that can provide insight into the health of an individual and can be managed with the help of medical treatments. At the end of life, some medical treatments can be used to manage the increased heart rate and ease the patient into a more peaceful state. The most common approach to managing heart rate is medication. Medications such as beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, and ACE inhibitors can all reduce the heart rate and reduce symptoms such as agitation and anxiety. If the medications do not work, then other treatments such as electrical cardioversion or pacemaker insertion may be recommended. Another treatment option is a procedure called thoracic sympathectomy. This involves cutting the nerve endings in the chest wall to reduce the amount of adrenaline released into the bloodstream. This in turn reduces the heart rate and can lead to a feeling of calmness. Finally, there are certain lifestyle changes that can be undertaken to help manage the increased heart rate. Regular exercise, relaxation techniques, and stress management can all be beneficial. Additionally, a balanced diet and avoiding caffeine, alcohol, and cigarettes can also help reduce the heart rate and improve overall health. Conclusion: when a person nears the end of life, their heart rate will often increase as their body enters its final stages. By understanding the physical, psychological, and social factors that contribute to this increase, it can help us to better prepare for end-of-life care and recognize when a loved one is close to death. There are also medical treatments and personal coping strategies available to help us manage the increase in heart rate before and during death. It is important to remain compassionate, patient, and understanding when caring for someone nearing the end of their life. With the right knowledge and support systems in place, we can facilitate a peaceful passing and ensure that our loved ones' last moments are peaceful and comfortable. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Caregiver Relief. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions for future videos, topics you'd like us to cover, or even improvements you'd like to see on the channel, drop them in the comments below,